The individuals who came to Alabama through the transfer portal, Jameson Williams and Henry To'oTo'o, had themselves an outing in an Alabama uniform on Saturday against Miami. Both individuals finishing in Jameson Williams at the top of the wide receiver yards category, and Henry To'oTo'o finishing second in tackles in a game where he actually got a little banged up and had to come out. But we need to talk about what these two have meant in their short stint to Alabama and what they mean going forward. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Were you happy with how Jameson Williams and Henry To'oTo'o played in their first game in an Alabama uniform? Can't wait to hear from y'all. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions are massive to content creators such as myself. But with that being said, let's talk about it. And I want to start with the defense, because the defensive side of Alabama is one where us as Alabama fans have been very intrigued about all summer. There's been a lot of expectations and hype around this defense, and on Saturday, they came to play. This Alabama defense looks like it is going to be a ton of fun to watch. We saw guys flying around the ball, and that pass rush is fantastic. But specifically, Henry To'oTo'o, at the end of the day, finished second in the category of tackles on a day where he got a little banged up and had to come out the game early. But what was it I saw out of To'oTo'o that I liked? And in no means was it a perfect game. They're still going to be growing. That's only natural for everybody, but especially guys who are not only new to a system. In To'oTo'o's case, the system is very analogous to what they were running at Tennessee, but you're in with new players, guys you're still building relationships with. To'oTo'o did a lot well. The communication was exactly what I was hoping it would be. His communication was big, and we saw him doing it all night long. The other thing is he liked to stay home. He stayed in his area, wherever his assignment was, and made some big plays, ultimately levying a huge hit that resulted in a Malachi Moore interception. To'oTo'o was not afraid to lay the wood, and he's someone who really set the tone with some of his hits and the way he was approaching the game. So it was very good to see that. But the reason why ultimately I wanted to start with To'oTo'o is about something else that happened in that Miami game, and it really revolves around the Chris Allen injury. When Chris Allen goes down, you're losing a guy that has very sound technique and a ton of experience. With Allen going down, Drew Sanders came in and really played a heck of a ball game, man. I mean, there are certain plays Drew Sanders had that I found to be very impressive, and at the end of the day, he finished third on the stat sheet in tackles for Alabama when coming in for Chris Allen in his first real time playing with the Crimson Tide defense. The reason why I wanted to focus on To'oTo'o as it relates to Chris Allen's injury is because as important as these communication skills are To'oTo'o has, it's even more important now, because now you're getting a new face along this defensive front in Drew Sanders, who, as talented as he is, as athletic as he is, and he's both of those in troves, he doesn't have the experience Chris Allen has. And that's a hit to your Alabama front. Chris Allen's experience was going to be huge. But the good news for Alabama is you have a middle linebacker in To'oTo'o that is such a vocal leader. But let's not ignore the offensive side of the ball, because Jameson Williams was credited for his speed over the summer. He was someone who the coaching staff said came in and impressed very early. Nick Saban said multiple times that they were looking for speed on the outside, and then when they got Jameson Williams, he said they found it. And we saw that Saturday, boy did we. On that 94-yard touchdown, apparently he clocked 23 miles per hour, which is absolutely insane. Jameson Williams has elite speed, and we saw that on the first long pass attempt of the game. Very early on in the game, we got an indication of how much faith this offense has in not only their new quarterback, but the offensive unit as a whole. It's a unit that will continue to grow with the quarterback-wide receiver relationship, with the offensive line continuing to gel, with the running backs finding their place in the system. This offense is going to continue to gel and grow. But when you see Bill O'Brien and Nick Saban giving their young quarterback in his first start a deep shot on the second play of the game, that's an indication of something. And once again, Jameson Williams was well behind the defense, and they just missed. That is going to be a scary duo in Jameson Williams and Bryce Young. Ultimately, Nick Saban was right. The transfer portal is something that we've seen Alabama players exit and go to other teams, but now top players are coming to Alabama in Henry To'oTo'o and Jameson Williams, and they're having an instant impact and not just a small one. In Jameson Williams, he provides this Alabama offense and specifically that Alabama wide receiving room speed, but also somebody to take the pressure off of Mechie. And Mechie is a really solid wide receiver who y'all have heard me say a million times. I'm sorry to say it 1,000,001. I think Mechie's underrated, but when you take that pressure off of Mechie, now Mechie can continue to shine, and this wide receiver room as a whole can continue to shine based off of somebody being a legitimate deep threat. Jameson Williams was an awesome grab for Alabama. I'm very happy he's with the Crimson Tide, and I'm very happy that he is having fun because he's been doing interviews saying that he feels like he's with family now. That's so cool to hear. On the defensive side, Henry To'oTo'o, I was adamant about trying to get Henry To'oTo'o for quite some time. I thought he was unbelievably impressive in his capacities at Tennessee, but the thing I'm most impressed about and continue to be most impressed about is his elite communication skills. Because as impressed as I was about those going into Saturday, now that one of the veteran members of Alabama's defensive front is out for the season, and we have a young, talented guy in Drew Sanders coming in, To'oTo'o's communication is going to be even more important, and it's going to pay massive dividends for a young guy in Drew Sanders making his start for Alabama. Cannot wait to hear from y'all. Hop down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about the transfers for Alabama in Jameson Williams and Henry To'oTo'o. That's it. See ya.